Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my home. My name is Becky. I'm so excited that you're here today. Well, today, what I would like to do is decorate the front porch for Christmas. The whole house has been decorated. It's so nice to be able to actually sit down and relax and enjoy it instead of thinking in my head, I've got another box here I've got to go through. Where am I going to put this? It's just so nice to have it done. It is, as I'm speaking to you right now, the day after Thanksgiving. This would typically be the time when I'm just getting started. So I got a little bit of a head start this year, and I'm glad I did because it's just nice. The whole month of December is just for relaxing and enjoying family and enjoying all the things and reflecting on what the true meaning of Christmas is. So I'm glad I started early. I don't regret it at all. But we're going to get started. The first bit of footage that you're going to see, it was taken yesterday. I'm not really showing my face in it because I had not put any makeup on. I had barely brushed my hair. So if you see me, you see my hands moving because they always are moving, but you don't see my face. That's because I wasn't quite ready for a close-up of the camera yesterday. So I had a few minutes before we were gonna go have Thanksgiving dinner with my family, so I just went out there and cleaned the porch off a little bit and took down a couple things. I had a little bit of Thanksgiving decor on the porch, not a lot at all, literally 2 things on the porch and a little bit in the front yard. So it didn't take me more than just 30 minutes to clean everything off and get it ready for decorating for Christmas. So today may be a mixture of different things. We'll see. I'm going to take you along for the journey. We're going to do this vlog style, but we are going to start with yesterday's footage with getting the porch ready for decorations. The only thing that I put out for Thanksgiving was just the simplest wreath that I had in my storage unit, and then I used that pillow cover. And then over here, I'll come on the front side of it. I pulled my little scarecrows back out that I had out for fall, and you can see that all of these pumpkins are rotted, and the straw and the hay bales, whatever, I don't know if it's hay or straw. All I know is it needs to be pulled up and thrown out in the woods. So this is what we're dealing with, and it's just sad right now. I will show you something that is not sad, that is actually quite beautiful. Let me go to the side of the house. This is David's pride and joy, his Japanese maple. He planted it on the side of the house not knowing how well it was going to do. Had we known that it was going to do this, we certainly would have planted it either in the front or the back. But I've told you guys before that we have terrible dirt, terrible soil in our front yard, so nothing does really well out there. So he decided to put it over here, and of course it just grew to this beauty. So it's on the side of the house, unfortunately, but how beautiful is this? I mean, this camera can't possibly catch the true beauty of this tree. Honestly, it's gorgeous. So we're going to start with clearing off the couple things that we do have on the porch, and then find a place to put those rotted pumpkins and those hay bales. And then today's Thanksgiving, so we're going to have to leave in a little while to go eat dinner with the family. And then maybe this afternoon or tomorrow we'll go into the shed and start hanging lights and doing all the fun things for the porch. But right now, let's just get the porch cleaned up. All right, guys, it's the Friday after Thanksgiving, and I had planned on getting up this morning and coming out here and working on the porch. It is cold and it is windy. The wind seems to be dying down a little bit now. I've given it a few minutes. It was a little earlier when I walked out here. I think the wind is dying down a little bit, but it is really cold out here, and I don't think I'm quite ready to do this. I think I'm gonna let the sun bake a little bit and warm things up just a little bit, although it is supposed to be cold today. So before we go out there and we do all that, let's go to the thrift store, because I have a project that I want to do for Christmas gifts, and I need some things from the thrift store to do that. I also still need some glass bowls to do that Christmas tree craft that I had planned on doing. So first of all, let me show you the gift idea that I was contemplating in my head doing. I need to go to Hobby Lobby too to get those stockings that I need 2 more stockings to finish out my mantle for all the kids to have stockings. But it's Black Friday, and I don't think I'm ready for that too. I'd probably rather work outside in this frigid cold rather than go to Hobby Lobby on Black Friday. But I don't think the thrift store should be too bad. I could be wrong, but maybe the thrift store won't be that bad. So here's what I was thinking for gifts for some of the girls in my family, the younger girls, and even my sisters. So if you'll remember 2 Halloweens ago, let me adjust the camera just a little bit. 2 Halloweens ago, I made this shirt. I got a flannel from the thrift store, and I put this image on the back right here. So what I did is I got the paper, it's like a printing paper that is meant to be ironed on. I got a hair in my face, I'm sorry. And I just went online and I found an image. I printed it on that paper. I ironed it on a thin piece of white cloth, and I just sewed it onto the back of the shirt. Now, I'm also wearing one that I love to wear. I love to put it on when I don't want to wear like a big jacket, but it's just a little chilly. I didn't make this one. I bought this one from an antique store, but it was a DIY. And this is the back of this one. Now, the difference in the one that I bought and the one that I made is that this is sublimation printing. So it's a little thinner and softer than the one that I made with the iron-on image. But it's still fun to wear and it's still neat. I also made another one that I don't have here. It was made from an old t-shirt that I used to wear a lot when I was in high school, and I just cut the image out of the back of the shirt because it was full of holes, and I used that, and I just took that old t-shirt and made one of these out of it. So I have 3 of these that I like to wear. I can only wear this one at Halloween. But I was thinking how I could make each one personal to each person is like, for example, my sister-in-law has a dog. She has a black lab that is her whole world. His name is RJ. So I thought, how fun would it be and how much would she love to have an image of RJ on the back of her shirt. I also have a niece who has 2 dogs that are her whole entire world. Same thing, I can just take a picture of the dogs or get a picture of the dogs. I can go on her Facebook and just kind of swipe a picture and use that as the image. So that's the plan that I have. We'll see how it works out. I'll bring you along for the journey. We're gonna go to the thrift store first, see if we can find some cute flannels, and then hopefully by then it'll warm up a little bit outside and we can decorate the porch. David has taken the bench to the shop. It's not a shop, it's the garage. He wants to resand it and repolyurethane it because it's gotten a lot of damage being outside with the rain and the elements. So he's going to be working on that. So if you realize that the bench is missing. That's because he's just doing some repairs on it. So, all right, let's get started. Let's get this beautiful day started and get out of this house. Also, before I go to the thrift store, I mentioned that I need some more of these glass bowls. I wanted to kind of see what sizes that I need. So you can kind of see everything looks good up into here, and then it goes too small. So I need something a little larger than this, but no larger than this. Something in between these two sizes, like maybe 2 extra pieces to add to our little pyramid here, and hopefully it'll work out. Or I can even get a piece larger to add at the bottom, and that would add to it as well. So I do need that. While I'm in my craft room, David put my shelves up for me. He put one up here. I told you that I wanted to continue my salt and pepper shaker collection all the way over, but I think what I might do is put my owls up here and then put my salt and peppers over here. And then he added this shelf for me also to do with what I wish. I don't know. I don't have any plans for this shelf, but I figured I can always use the extra storage. So I'm going to measure these. I've got my little measuring tape here. I'm going to measure these. We're going to go to the thrift store. The 2 things we're looking for are flannel shirts and glass dishes. So we're going to try to stay on track. All right, I'm back from the thrift store. I found 5 flannel shirts. I think I need 7, one of which needs to be plus sized, and that's okay. I'll go back another day and look. I don't have to have them all today, but here's the colors that I got. I got this beautiful green one. It's really pretty. This kind of burgundy one. This red and black. And then I got this one. I thought my sister Lily would like the colors in here. So we're not going to start this project today because I've got to do some prep work. I need a spray bottle and I need some bleach. I don't have any here at the house because I don't use bleach a whole lot. And I think the last time I used it, I used all of it. So I think I'm out of it. So I need to go to the store and get some bleach and a little spray bottle. And then what we'll do is we'll spray the edge of the arms and then the bottom of the shirt, kind of like, I'll show you like this, how this is bleached and then this is regular, but there's just little spots here and there that's been bleached. So we'll do that first, then we'll wash them all, and then we'll do the pictures on the back. But I don't think I want to start that project today. We've got tomorrow, so we can work on that tomorrow. Today I want to go ahead and get started on the porch. So we're going to kind of be bouncing around a little bit, but let's go to the shed and get our decorations out and then see what we can get done on the porch. It's warmed up a little bit out there since this morning, so it shouldn't be too terribly uncomfortable. And I was not able to find any glass bowls. They didn't have any to be heard of. So there's another thrift store that has a lot of clear glass. We'll go there maybe tomorrow and see what they have, just to kind of have a quick little outing before we get started on our chores. So we'll do that tomorrow. I know I had told you guys in a past video that I had intended on going to the Home Depot and getting this beautiful blow mold nativity set that they had for only $99. It just didn't happen. I had all intentions on going and picking it up, but I just never made it to the Home Depot. I did go there one day with David and I looked for it, but they didn't have it, and we were in such a hurry that I didn't ask for help. So maybe next year I'll get that beautiful blow mold set, but for this year I just decided to use what I had. I had plenty of decorations that were left over from the inside of the house. I had plenty of lights, so I just used what I had left over. I did make one quick trip to the Dollar Tree, and I got a few items, and I ended up going in an elf direction. So you'll see that kind of play out as we're decorating. When I went to the Dollar Tree, I had no idea what I was going to get, but it worked out pretty well because I had this wreath that my sister had made me years ago that had little elves on it. I know I didn't spend a lot of time letting you look at it, but she made that wreath for me several years ago. I pulled it back out. I have two that she's made for me, and the porch just kind of went with that direction from there on out. I found that little light from the thrift store. I forgot to film it, but it was only $1 or $2. So I just added that to my wreath. No, not my wreath, to my garland, and lit it up, and it was pretty cute. So this is my little bag that I got from the Dollar Tree. I got these little garlandy elves. I got some tinsel, and I got these little red bells. So, oh yeah, and I got those little pieces of candy. They came in like they were connected with 3 pieces together, so I took them apart so that I could use them all over. What I have for the vinyl are these little hooks. I've shared them many times before. They come from Amazon. They're just simply called vinyl hooks, and I just kind of stick them in my vinyl, and I can hang pretty much anything on that vinyl that I want that's not real heavy. I did put this green garland up, and you'll see a little later that I ended up taking it down. It was just a little bit too much green for that side of the porch. It was bothering me. I left it up there through a majority of the video, but by the end of the video I ended up taking it down. And so all I'm doing here is using those vinyl hooks and hanging my little elves so they'll look like they're kind of dancing around that sign. I got 5 of these little elves from the Dollar Tree, and I've been doing this for all of the holidays for the last year or so. I usually try to pick out something that's lightweight and easily stackable so that it doesn't take up a lot of storage space, and it just really is fun to decorate around that sign on my porch. It just adds some color and something fun to look at, and I have really enjoyed decorating my porch since I started doing things like this. Now, I got those peppermint pieces with the intention on putting them around the elves because I thought it would be a different color up there and not so much green. But when I looked at that garland around my door, I decided that it definitely needed something else in that area. So I just took little not zip ties, they're like little bread ties, and I just tied them to the garland. I do come back a little later and I add a little bit more to that garland because it's still lacking. Even though I try to say that I'm doing it minimally and I'm taking things easy on myself, I always end up coming back and adding more. It's just who I am. So now I'm just adding a couple of wreaths on the windows and some lights in the bushes. I did keep things close to the house. I didn't go in the yard like I had originally intended. So we've just got the porch decorated and the bushes that are right next to the house. That's all we did this year. This garland does need a little something else, and without having to go out and buy anything, I was just kind of looking through my stash what I had, and I found this silver garland that I had gotten probably at a thrift store, judging from the price tag. So I have 3 of these, and I think that should be plenty to kind of wind in and out of there. So I'm gonna add that, and then those are the pillows that are gonna go on the bench when David gets done. And then I added these lights and these little wreaths here on the windows. So I'll have to come out here tonight and adjust all the lights to make sure that they, you know, are even. But, and then I put a little wreath over there. It's fine. I might come add more. I'm not gonna say I'm not going to, but for now, I think that it came together nicely with stuff that I had, and then what I bought was only from the Dollar Tree, which was what you saw me take out of that bag. So I'm gonna add that silver garland in here, see if it makes a difference, and then probably call it for the day. So this garland is half the size of my cheap Dollar Tree garland, and it's pretty skimpy. Look at it. It's balding in the middle. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this or not. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to use it, but it's in pretty bad shape. I do have 3 packs of it to fill in the bald spots, but we'll see. So I added the silver garland all the way around, and it looks fine. I still think it could use something in these little spaces here, and when I go back to the Dollar Tree, if I find something that I can wire in that doesn't cost a lot, maybe I will. I did add something, and I added it only because I already had it. But I had this little tree in my shed, and I had this garland, so I wrapped the garland around the tree, added some colored lights. And what I would like to get when I go back to the Dollar Tree is, since we're kind of going with an elf theme, which was not planned, it just kind of happened, I want to get one of those little $5 elves to stick right there. They're kind of tall, so I might put that there, and I have to put some weight on the bottom of it. That's what that is a heavy piece of iron to keep the tree from falling over. So I also need to look for a very inexpensive Dollar Tree tree skirt. I know I said I was done, but like I said, something needed to go there. It was just kind of plain, and we could also put a little sign there as well. I'm sure I have something out in my shed. So when you come back, you'll see the bench will be put back in place, and that'll be a space filler too, and it'll look more put together. But I'll show you a final ta-da of everything whenever we do the full house tour. In my typical never knowing when to quit fashion, I decided to add one more quick, easy little project to my front porch / my front yard. I saw these little socks at the Dollar Tree, and I thought, well, you know what would be really cute is if I were to take them and put them over some pool noodles and have them look like little elf legs sticking out of my bushes. Well, the pool noodles had long been sold out, even though they do make pool noodles now for the holiday season. Like, they make red and white ones for Christmas and orange and black ones for Halloween, because so many people are using them to craft with. They had still sold out a long time ago. So I thought, well, maybe I could use some 2x4s that David has in his stash in the garage, and it worked out pretty well. It took a little bit of finagling to get the sock over the 2x4 because of the way it was pointy, but I didn't want to have to cut that 2x4 just for a quick little project, so that's just the way it was. The scrap wood had been cut. And then I did get those stockings from the Dollar General, because my Dollar Tree didn't have any elf stockings. They only had like regular red and white Santa stockings. So I had to make 2 stops to do this project, but it was okay. It worked out well. I put some polyfill in the toe of the stocking, and then I used my staple gun to make sure everything was good and secure, and then I just used my hot glue gun to glue those little bells down that were already attached to the stocking, and it turned out really cute actually. The hardest part of this project was getting them to stand up in the bushes, because my bushes are so thick. It took me, I didn't show you all the process, but it took a little bit of finagling on my part to get them to stand up perfectly. But I think it's adorable, and it was cheap, easy, and very, very quick to do. Okay, y'all, I made a couple changes and a couple additions, and we're calling it a night. When I was at the Dollar Tree getting the little elf, which is right here, he's right there. When I was there getting him, I saw these socks and I had a little stroke of inspiration. So I came back and I got some 2x4s of David's and made a little elf in the bushes. I added a couple more strands of lights. I took down that green tinsel from around there because it was just too much. It was bothering me. And I think we're done. Unless I think of something else, I think this is it. So I added some lights there, and that's just all the lights that I have. I'm out of them at this point, other than white ones. I wish that they were either all incandescent or all LED, but they're not. So we got to use what we got. All right, we're gonna call it a night. It is the next day. It is Saturday morning, and we are gonna get started on our shirt project, our DIY project for Christmas gifts. I got it this morning and I went to 3 more thrift stores because I needed 2 more shirts. Well, as you can see, I bought more than 2. I actually bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I bought 6 today. I only needed 2 more. One in particular was this one because I needed a plus size option for 1 family member, and I just got a little carried away. It's per my usual. It's just part of my personality. I overdo everything that I do. So I have enough for my family. I have enough I can make some for the girls and even for myself. I actually would like to keep this one for myself because I just feel like that would be a cute Christmas shirt to wear, like I did my my orange and black one, my Halloween one. So might keep that one for myself. But we got plenty to choose from. We got plenty of options. I also went to Walmart. Oh, wait, let me back up for a second. Each one of these shirts costs around $4 each, with the exception of the plus size one. I had to pay double for that one, which is fine that I had to pay double, but it's wrong that they would want to charge a person double because they're plus sized. That is wrong. But I got $4 average in all of the others. Now, back to what I was saying. I went to Walmart and I got this transfer paper here. I've read this from front to back and I don't see where it specifies, but it used to be that this project had to be done on an inkjet printer as opposed to a laser printer. I don't know if it's the same or not. I have an inkjet printer, so I'm good. But just if you want to do this project, just check into that if you have a laser or an inkjet printer and if the paper that you buy will work for both. But the idea of what we're doing is you're going to go online, you're going to print a photograph or a picture that is not copyrighted, and you're going to print it out on this paper, and then we'll go into more detail later as we get further into the project. I also got some bleach and I got a spray bottle. We're going to mix the bleach with some water so that it's a perfect mixture and it won't eat holes through my fabric. But we're going to go out here to my little glass top table to spray it because that's the safest place to spray bleach around here. All right, so I am going to start setting up everything outside and I'll show you what it looks like in just a minute. I'm going to be filming this with my left hand and spraying with my right hand, so bear with me if it's a little shaky. I just want to kind of show you the technique that works best in my opinion. Instead of just spraying it down and saturating it, if you kind of ease down the handle and just let little droplets fall, that kind of gives you the effect more of I guess what I think is neat looking. I don't know what effect that is. It's just, I think it looks better like that. And then you just kind of let it flow up the shirt, but you want to go heavy at the bottom and then just kind of drop it up a little bit as you go up. And you can spray more down here at the bottom if you want that heavily bleached look, but you don't want it all the way up. So you're just going to kind of do little droplets, and hopefully this will bleach. I'm finding that not all fabrics bleach. I thought if I went with 100% cotton I'd be okay, but we're going to have an array of different ones to pick from, and at the end of the day they were $4 if I mess up on something. I'm going to give this just a minute to start bleaching, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so this is after a few minutes what it's looking like. They don't all look like this. Like for example, the first one that I did, the bleach spots were actually oranger than that. So they all look a little different. They're all going to be unique, and that's great. That's a good thing. So I'm just going to keep right on working. Okay, so here is RJ. This is the photograph that I want to print, and I'm putting it full page. So we're just going to hit print. I did set it for lightweight paper, and we're going to see what happens. So I got it printed out, and the first thing you're going to notice is that the background is a little more warm. I felt like the grass that was really green would have been just a little too green for the shirt that I picked out for her, and this has got some green tones in it. If you'll look at the bottom, you'll see the bleach treatment that I did. I think it turned out good. I've ironed it down, ironed the collar, and got it nice and pressed and clean, and it's been freshly washed. It's all ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put the picture on the back of the shirt. So how we're going to do that is we're going to press this directly on this white fabric. Now this is just a plain white fabric. It's very, very thin. I believe it was from an old sheet. I used it in another project a few years ago. So I had quite a bit of this left. So I just ironed it down to make it nice and seamless, no wrinkles. And then we're going to set our iron to a lower setting because I don't want to melt my paper right away. But according to the instructions, it could take up to 3 minutes to get it all pressed down. The other thing I wanted to mention is, as I was reading the back of the sheet, this is the ironing instructions, it does say right here, for use in inkjet printers only. So there's the answer to that question I had earlier about if it needed to be inkjet or laser. So I'm just going to take a minute. Oh, and no steam. Cannot use steam. I'm just going to take a minute, iron this down. It's going to take a little bit of time, and I'll be right back. This is what I've learned. Turn that heat up. If you don't, you're going to be here all day. Don't try to pull it off until it's completely cooled down. If you try to pull it off while it's hot, it's not going to do right. So let me bring you in a little closer. Here we go. We're going to pull it off here. And there is beautiful RJ. And then I'm just going to cut him out. And then I'm going to sew him to the back of the shirt. It's just that simple. Whenever the shirt gets washed, this white fabric might fray a little bit. It just adds to the character of the shirt. This is not a neat type of shirt. This is a little, well, just like I'm wearing. I don't know how else to describe it other than it's just, it's a fun shirt to wear. So if it gets frayed a little bit, it'll be all right. I'm almost done cutting him out. I'm going to pin him down so I know I've got him straight, and then I'm just going to run right over there to my sewing machine, and it's 4 straight lines, and then it's all done. The good thing about using flannel is that there's lines here to help you line up the image so you know that you've got it straight. So I'm going to use the lines, and I'm going to measure about maybe 8 inches from the top of the shirt. I think that would be a good amount. I'll try it on myself to make sure that it's not too high. You can get the image too high and you can get it too low. So I'll try it on myself because my sister-in-law and I are about the same size. So I'll be able to kind of tell the length that the image should be on the back of the shirt. So that is going to be so stinking cute. Let me finish getting this together and I'll show you what it looks like. Before I show you what the other shirt looks like, how it turned out, I'm kind of in the future a little bit. This is the second shirt that I'm working on. This is my niece Abby's shirt. And I wanted to add that I was thinking when I was doing the first one that there should have been like some fraying around the edges, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't have any fraying. So this one, what I did is when I printed the image, I cut it out first and then put it on the white fabric. And then when I cut the white fabric, I cut with just a little bit of where you can see the white a little bit. And then to make sure that it's frayed, I just took this little sanding block and kind of got the slightest bit of fraying. That is how it's supposed to look. When you see the next footage of me wearing my sister-in-law's shirt, there's no fraying, there's no white edge, and it's not correct. I may end up going back and doing it again. I'm going to tell you I'm thrilled with it, but after making this second shirt, I realized that it's not quite right. So we'll see. I may leave it as is, or I might do it like this, but this is the way that it's supposed to be, like this. Because when you wash it, you want it to be frayed. You want it to be worn looking, and that's the whole point of doing all the bleach treatment and everything, because it needs to look distressed. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I'm all done with the shirt, and I think it turned out great. I'm thrilled with it. Let me show you the back. There is little RJ. Although he's not little at all, he's a big old dog. So I've got lots more shirts to make. If you want to see how they all turned out, make sure that you like and you subscribe and you hit all the notification bells so that you won't miss a single upload. I'm not going to be able to add them in tonight's video, but I will share them in a different vlog. I just need a few days to get them all done. So I'm excited to get started, and I think my family is going to like their little homemade gift from me this year. So until next time, I love you all, and I'll see you later. Bye.